Do you find yourself stuck at your 9-to-5 job, daydreaming about starting a business of your own? If you are ready to learn how to pivot from employee to entrepreneur, you are in the right place, my friend. Welcome to How to Quit Your Job and Start a Business, a limited edition podcast series designed just for you. I'm your host, Shannon Russell, career transition coach, entrepreneur, and your business bestie, guiding you on your journey from the corporate world to being the CEO of your own life. Each episode in this series will walk you through how to make this career transition in a way that doesn't disrupt your life and cause chaos at home. I'll walk you through the tested strategies I use with my clients so that you can move from where you are to where you want to be. Head over to secondactsuccess.co/listen to grab my Starting a Successful Business workbook. It's a perfect tool to guide you through this limited series podcast. Hit subscribe, pop in your earbuds, and let's hang out. Ready? Let's get to it. You did it. You are at episode 20 of How to Quit Your Job and Start a Business. Welcome back, my friend. I am your host and career transition coach, Shannon Russell. If you have listened all the way through this limited series podcast, then I applaud you. I love that you're taking that initiative to get yourself from where you are to where you want to be. Throughout these 20 episodes, we have outlined every step it will take to give your notice at your 9-to-5 job and build that business you'll love. This episode is all about celebrating the success of launching your own business. Because let's be honest, entrepreneurship can be incredibly tough, but it can also be rewarding. There are times when it feels like those obstacles we just talked about back in episode 18, those obstacles are piling up and you're questioning if all of this hard work is worth it. Have you been there? I know I have. But listen, most successful entrepreneurs will tell you that their hardest moments were the ones that shaped them. Those are the moments that define their resilience, their grit, and really their determination to be a success. We are going to talk about how you can't give up when things get tough. It is time to celebrate you, the business owner, and the person who is giving everything to create this dream business with their two hands and their heart. Let's start with some real talk. When you venture into entrepreneurship, you're signing up for the highs and the lows, right? You're learning as you go. And there will be days where you'll feel like you're riding high and then days where you're really feeling low. And that's okay. We know to shift our mindset and look at things on the bright side. If you can do that, then you're feeling like this is a journey. Creating a business isn't a light switch you can turn on and then all of a sudden have this successful business that's giving you loads of money and fulfilling you. You are on an adventure. You're on a journey to create something that is only yours, something that you had this idea in your head and now you've brought it to fruition. As a former television producer, I know what it's like to be tasked with an idea that you just have to create all the different levels and bring everything together to bring that idea to the television screen. Business owners do the same thing. When I left television and I opened my first business, I decided to produce my life and produce a business. I did exactly what we've gone through in these 20 episodes, really building that business from scratch. And that is what you're doing. So it's not about really avoiding all of those difficulties that might occur. It's about how you respond to them. And going back to your why. We have talked a lot about the power of your why and knowing why you're leaving your job and why you want to create this business. Everything should go back to your why because you want more flexibility, because you want autonomy, because you want to be a more present mom. All of those things are the most important arrow driving you towards that end goal of launching and growing a business. So think about your why when things get tough, right? Go back and say, okay, if there's ever a time where you feel like, why did I start this? Why did I do this? I'm in this predicament and I don't know how to get out. Stop, pause, and think about why you started in the first place. Go back to you wanting to be that present mom, you wanting to have that creativity, you wanting to make a positive impact on your community, you wanting that financial freedom. Whatever your why is, let that bring you back to that place of peace and know that you are following your why and you're going to step over that challenge and keep going. Let that why be your arrow or your anchor and just keep you grounded and remind you that you're on a journey. This is an adventure and life is meant to be exciting and have twists and turns. And by going into entrepreneurship, you're embracing that. You're saying, okay, what is happening today? Because every day is different when you're a business owner. So dig deep and know that you are pursuing your dream as hard as it's going to be. And more importantly, remember your why and how when you reach your goal, you are going to truly be living the life that you wanted, the life that you set out to live. If you haven't already, take your why, write it down on a piece of paper and put it on your wall or stick it to your computer screen. Just put it somewhere visible so if you're having a hard day, you can look at it and be reminded and more centered to remind yourself, okay, this is overwhelming now, but I'm going to step forward and I'm going to keep going because I know my purpose. I want to remind you about reframing any setbacks or challenges as learning opportunities, saying, okay, great, what can I learn from this situation? How can I adapt and come back stronger? This roadblock is not going to stop me. It's just that little mindset shift that has you saying, okay, this launch failed, this employee quit. What can I do now to prevent these things from happening down the road? Every time you can learn something new, you're actually improving your process and you're getting one step closer to your goal. As you're building the business, as you're celebrating what you're creating, make sure you have that support system and lean on them. It can definitely be lonely to be a business owner and be in this world, especially if you are creating an online business where you're working from home. But don't let your life be lonely. Don't live in this silo of just you creating. Make sure you have people to support you along the way. And we've talked about this in past episodes as well, but if it's not friends and family, if they just don't understand what you're doing, if they don't get the entrepreneurial world, that's okay. Find people who do. Find fellow entrepreneurs, mentors, coaches. Find a group, whether it's on social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, anywhere where you can join and ask questions and become friends with people online or other like-minded entrepreneurs that you can ask questions and connect with so you don't feel so isolated. If there are community groups in your area where you can go to networking nights and meet people that live in your area, that's another great way to really get to feel like you're amongst a group of people because you really are. You are not alone. Sometimes just knowing that someone else has been where you are and has made it through gives you that push that you need to keep going. And never, never hesitate to ask for help. Always have someone you can go to when you are having a stumbling block. And just know that even if you have to vent, it's important to have a support system in place to help you during those moments. Keep in mind that everything on your to-do list, all of those things that are going to help you reach your end goal of a successful business, does not have to happen overnight. Reduce the overwhelm. Don't feel discouraged. Just do what you can by breaking your bigger goals down into smaller steps. Instead of focusing on the big picture 24/7, shift your focus to the smaller, manageable tasks. I write down 3 things every night before I close my laptop. So I know the next day I have these 3 things to focus on. If I get to more, great. If I don't, great. But that's how you can take your bigger projects and make them into smaller steps. What's one thing you can do in front of you right now to move your business forward? And do that. It could be something as simple as sending an email, making a call, or planning out your week. But each small win adds up. And before you know it, those little steps will take you closer to the big goal. So just remember that progress is progress, no matter how small. This is an episode all about celebrating. So celebrate those small wins. When you complete a project, celebrate. When an employee does something great, celebrate him or her. It's easy to get focused on the end goal, that you don't remember to acknowledge the milestones that you've achieved along the way. So make sure that you do celebrate when you get that first partnership, or when you land your first client, or launch your website, or make your first dollar. Whatever it might be, celebrate those wins. That feeling of pride, that feeling of celebration will keep you going so that you do more and more and more. It's also important to give yourself grace. Let yourself rest when you need it. So listen to your body, listen to your mind, listen to your heart. Don't let yourself get to a point of burnout. Make sure that you lean on your support system, that you hire and outsource when needed, that you take your days off to rest. The best thing you can do for your business is step away for a moment or two to recharge. And then you come back with a fresh energy and a new perspective. Give yourself that permission to rest up, practice self-care, and invest in your long-term success. As I wrap this up, I want to remind you that this is a long game. Building a business or starting on the transition to leaving your corporate job to launch a business, it's a long game, a marathon, not a sprint. There will be ups and downs, victories and setbacks, but keep going. And keep going with that end goal in mind. Like we just said, celebrate small wins. Be prepared to handle those tough moments. It's easy to get caught up in the day-to-day struggles, but keep reminding yourself where you're headed. You know where your goal is. You know what you want ultimately in this dream of being an entrepreneur. So stay consistent, stay committed, even through the difficult times, and you will get there. It's a long game, my friend. All right, we did it. We are at the end, about to wrap up our final episode in this limited series podcast. To wrap up this episode, I want to leave you with this. You have done it. Just listening to this series shows that you want to change your life, that you want to venture into something bigger than what you have now. You have a why that is driving you towards this desire to build a business of your own. You want more for your life than what you have now, and you're going for it. I hope that these 20 episodes in this podcast have helped you feel confident and get some tools and strategies that you can use as you move from employee to entrepreneur. Remember that all of this is learning experience, and it is an adventure where you are going to grow as a person and as a business owner. So don't give up on your dream, my friend. Embrace these challenges and opportunities for growth and for learning. And remember that you are going to come out on the other side a stronger, happier you. And that's exciting. So keep pushing forward, even when it's tough, because you've got this. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for listening to this series. How to Quit Your Job and Start a Business has been a dream of mine to create for quite some time, and I am so happy to have this out in your ears for you to listen and learn from. If you enjoyed this limited series podcast, I ask you to please leave a review. It really means so much to me. And if you know a friend, a fellow woman who is thinking about this career transition herself and starting a second act, please share this podcast series with her. I would love to get this message out to as many women as I can. As always, feel free to reach out to me and share your journey. I'd love to hear how you're staying motivated through these ups and downs of entrepreneurship. And if this podcast series helped you take action, I'd really love to know about it. So feel free to connect with me on social media. I'm at Second Act Success on Instagram and TikTok. And you can also head over to my website for free resources, and you can even book a call with me, and we can chat one-on-one about your career transition and your business. The website is secondactsuccess.co. I'd love to hear from you. And don't forget my other podcast series that's ongoing. It's the Second Act Success Career Podcast. I share information about career changes, the job market, starting a business, and I bring women on to share their career change success stories. That is the Second Act Success Career Podcast, available everywhere. Okay, my friend, thank you so much for spending some time with me. Once again, I am your host, Shannon Russell, and I will be celebrating you as you move forward building your second act business. Talk to you soon, my friend. Do you ever feel like you need a little support as you plan your next career move? Then I invite you to join the Career Clarity Collective. It's a monthly membership, and inside you will receive access to a community of like-minded women. You will also take part in group coaching calls, plus you'll get access to masterclasses and resources with new ones added every month. Join us for the tools you need, the guidance you deserve, and accountability to take action so that you can make your second act a success. Head over to secondactsuccess.co/membership to enroll. I can't wait to see you inside the Career Clarity Collective.